Thank you very much, members of the Fourth Estate. Thank you for responding to our request for this presser at very, very short notice and having a very good attendance. It is a very good day for us to lay a number of issues to rest. And that's really the main purpose of this gathering here. I will first of all invite the Secretary General to read out the notice convening the annual general meeting for Gor Mahia Football Club this year. Sasamo Chola?
Everybody.
Yes.
The much awaited AGM is now here. So I'm just going to read the notice. Notice of annual general meeting, AGM. Notice is hereby given of the annual general meeting for Gor Mahia Football Club to be held on 13th of April 2025 from 7 a.m. The venue will be at the basketball arena at Nyayo National Stadium. The agenda of the meeting shall be to read the notice calling for the annual general meeting by the Honorable Secretary, confirmation of the minutes of the last AGM, to receive and adopt the report, the chairman's report, presentation and adoption of the audited financial statements, appoint of audit for the year 2025, to receive, discuss, and if approved, adopt the transition committee's report. After that, we are going to do elections. And then after the elections, we are going to have AOBs. This notice is given pursuant to Article 16, 1B of the Constitution of the Club, 2019. It's issued today at Nairobi, the 17th day of March 2025. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Secretary General. So that is the notice of the AGM at which the elections will be held. So elections will be an agenda on that day, the 13th day of April 2025 at the basketball arena of the Nyayo National Stadium, effective 7 a.m. I know the emphasis is on the second last item. The concern of many people is the elections, but we think that we need to discuss many matters as outlined by the Secretary General on that day at the Nyayo National Stadium. I will now read the press release, which is a comprehensive document. You don't need to take a lot of time. I've got quite a number of copies that I will be able to distribute for you to be able to see. So just pick up the germane issues, those issues that are completely crucial. So the purpose of this press release, I ought to have introduced my Vice Chairman, Francis Wasuna, Secretary General Sam Ochola, CEO Ray Oruo. The committee member is in some UN meeting. Gerfa Sokuku is in Makueni attending some crucial UN meeting on seeds, maize seeds in Makueni. So he's not able to attend. I also do not see the treasurer of the club. Maybe she's on her way. Now, so the purpose of this press release is to, among other things, inter alia, one, to provide an electoral roadmap for the impending Gor Mahia Football Club elections, including details of the scheduled club elections. Two, to bring to the attention of candidates the requirements of Regulation 20 of the Sports Registrar's Regulations. And three, to provide the candidates with eligibility criteria and elections checklist. Four, They announced the election board, and 5, to provide the requirements of those entitled to vote. 5 items. First is to provide the electoral map. The electoral roadmap is as follows. On February 14th, which is now past, notice of reminder to members to continue registering as members via the Bank of Africa account and pay bill number 350-100 until 31st March 2025, as was decreed by the Sports Dispute Tribunal on the 15th day of January, the year of our Lord 2025. The responsibility on this is by the Secretary General, and the remarks are more members to enlist with the club. On 17th day of March, which is today, constitution of the Electoral Board, which I will read out shortly, which will oversee the entire electoral process. The board will have at least 5 persons this moment. Yes, 5 persons to undertake the elections. The responsibility is Mahia EC. The purpose is to deliver credible, transparent, and peaceful elections on the 13th day of April 2025. At the same day today, to submit the electoral calendar to the Registrar of Sports, which we have done today. We have submitted the electoral calendar to the Registrar of Sports. It is duly stamped by the Sports Registrar, available for your perusal and scrutiny. The purpose is to onboard the registrar for the review of the election calendar for legal compliance. At the last appearance at the tribunal, Sports Dispute Tribunal, we were asked to assure those concerned that the registration is going on, and also to produce a list of those who have been registered. I am pleased to say that we have in the region of 730 members so far registered through both the bank and the pay bill. And we encourage people, remind them that as at 31st March, we will produce a comprehensive register of those who are entitled to vote. So let nobody be scared about where to register. You can use 350-100 or Bank of Africa. Deadline is 31st March, when we will compile a comprehensive list. But we do have a raw list already that is available, effective last year. So those who were registered last year are eligible to vote, and those who are registered this year are eligible to vote, and those who will register between now and 31st March will be allowed to vote. Again, issuance of the notice to the AGM, we have done it just now, so that the Secretary General has read out the AGM. The purpose is to invite and inform the members of the annual general meeting and the agenda thereof. On 13th April, there will be an election of new executive members, and responsibility is bona fide members of the club. And the idea is to give the new office a fresh mandate to run the club for the next 4 years. So I will be able to give this for you to be able to extract whatever you may need for purposes of informing the general public, and in particular, the Golf Mahia fraternity. The next thing is to bring to the attention of the candidates the requirements of Regulation 20 of the Sports Registrar's Regulation. I have taken it verbatim, word for word, from Regulation 20 of the Sports Registrar's Regulations. It's called Part 6. Elections. An organization, and Gor Mahia is a sports organization, shall hold election in accordance with the rules provided in its constitution. To those who have been asking, is it the constitution of Kenya? Yes, that is a general law. The Grundnorm of this country is the constitution promulgated in 2010. So it forms part of our law and we cannot cast it out. Then there is a Sports Act. The Sports Act itself provides that you must have your own constitution. We have our constitution duly filed with the registrar, and it's written Mahia Constitution 2019. Here is the stamp of the registrar, sports registrar, and this is the constitution that we are relying on for purposes of not only running our AGM, but also holding all the elections available for your perusal. Notwithstanding paragraph 1, a sports organization seeking to hold an election shall A, appoint an independent panel consisting of at least 5 members to conduct the election. I will read out those names. B, include observers from at least one umbrella sports organization, the ministry responsible for matters related to sports, and the registrar's office. We have that list. Number C, observe the principle of non-discrimination as provided in their constitution. Our constitution provides only for the limit of age and sanity. We recognize gender, that anybody of any gender can contest for any post in our organization. So we value gender, we recognize gender for that purpose. Then, D, inform the registrar at least 4 weeks prior to the expected date of the elections. We've done that this morning by informing them that we will hold elections and the agenda of that day to comply with the regulations. Conduct the election in an open, free, and fair environment, basketball arena. There'll be no thuggery, there'll be peace. And we will allow people to vote by way of secret ballot. F, and this is important for the candidates, so that they don't look to be an invention of the committee to buy anybody. F, ensure that the nominated candidates obtain clearance from the Directorate of Criminal Investigation, the Kenya Revenue Authority, the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, the Credit Reference Bureau, and the Higher Education Loans Board. Loud and clear, any candidate, anybody wishing to contest, you must get these. They are not the invention of Mugabe. These are stipulated in legislation, subsidiary legislation promulgated under the Sports Act. Directorate of Criminal Investigation, Kenya Revenue Authority, Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, Credit Reference Bureau, and HELB. You have to get clearance. These clearances will not be presented to this office. They'll be presented to the election board. Ours ends here, and the election board will now take over from us to make all the other requirements, but these are in the public domain. G, ensure that the office of the chairman or president, secretary, and treasurer are reserved for Kenyan citizens only. So those are the requirements. Then, an observer in an election and returning officer shall, within 7 days of the election, submit a separate report to the registrar on the credibility of the elections. 4, the sports organization shall, within 21 days, notify the registrar of the newly elected office bearers in the form called Form R, set out in the first schedule. 5, the registrar may register a newly elected office bearer if satisfied with the election and the election process. Now, listen to this. The newly elected office bearers shall hold office for a period of 4 years and may be elected for one further term. Digest that so many questions are asked. They say, oh, the man is 95 years old, too old to see. Okay. A person who is dissatisfied with the results of an election may appeal to the tribunal within 30 days of the election. So these are the rules that will govern the elections that we are going to hold. I think most of the questions are answered there. Yet, I must proceed. Provide the candidates with eligibility criteria and elections checklist. It is attached. Who is a candidate? You will be required to submit a valid Kenyan ID or passport, and you must be at least 18 years old. A duly filled nomination paper. Looking like this, which is also down here to be completed by electoral board. So you give your details, then the electoral board also gives it. We have it here as part of our as specimen. Then be a duly registered member of the club. If you are not a member of the club, please don't appear. We are going to issue cards. We are going to issue cards for those who are duly registered. You will show that card at the entrance to be able to participate, so that we avoid hooliganism and hangers on around there. Transparency, we will have that. Be registered, and we are saying come and pay 1,200 at Bank of Africa or 350, 100 before 31st of March. Welcome. Now, then you need to show that you have either been a NEC member or a committee member, a referee, assistant referee, a coach, a trainer, a technical member, an administrator of football. It is so open. For you become a member, then we also expect you to really show that you are concerned with the club, not just picked up from somewhere for purposes of the election. Then there is going to be a declaration of support from at least 20 registered members. So you'll be supported by 20 members who will not be supporting a person for the same position. In other words, if you come to support Mugabe, then don't go and support another person who is running against Mugabe. All right? Good. So that is good. We will have it. We'll have a form for those people. Then the others I have read a repetition of those clearances. The only two additions is that there will be 2 passport size colored photographs of the candidate, and then proof of payment of the prescribed fees to the electoral board. There will be a prescribed fee that will be paid to the electoral board. They will announce it. We do not determine it. The electoral board will determine the fees for, if you are standing for chairman, how much do you pay? Vice chairman, how much? Yes, something like about 1 million, 2 million, or something like that. We will not decide on it. It will be decided by the electoral board. You have to pay that fee. It is not discriminatory. It will be a requirement. The time will be specified, but your papers will not be accepted before you pay that fee. I'm sure you saw even in the federation election recently. You don't just appear and say, I'm a candidate, so. They were paying a fee. So that is the elections checklist. I'm about to finish, just in case. Then announce the election board.
After this, yeah. After that one. That one, yeah.
Good. These are the 5 members of the electoral board. Mr. Gishu Wahome is the chair of the electoral board as a sports administrator. Professor Ben Sihanya, professor of law at the University of Nairobi, is going to be a member. Mr. Henry Ogoe Kowero, formerly acting MD of Kenya Airports Authority, has acted as a chairman of this board before, is going to be one of the members. Professor Umondi Okech, a linguistic expert of the Technical University of Kenya, will be a member, and then being sensitive of gender, Miss Rose Lillian Otili Anyango. That makes 5 people. That is the board, electoral board for Gor Mahia elections of 2025. Now, I have already given requirements of those entitled to vote, and I believe those entitled to vote, and I believe that okay. Now, election observers are going to be the president of SJAC, Sports Journalists Association of Kenya, a representative from FKF, the Kenya National Sports Council, a representative secretary, Ministry of Sports, COC chairman, a representative from the stewards, Mr. Tom Sewe, and from Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology, Mr. Kennedy Odero. Otieno. Kennedy Odero. So those are going to be the observers, 8 of them. Those 5 are going to be the electoral board. The returning officer is going to be given to us by the IEBC. Thank you. If there are any questions, please pose them. I will be able to give all these.